give it just a few seconds, they'll start squilling if they're pointing to the air. And it just launches automatically. You got walk, face walk, like a half.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Ms. Horton, would you call the roll, please?
Baronis,
She went out for a minute.
Bolin,
Present.
Gathing,
Present.
Lopez,
Present.
Verrett,
Present.
Williams,
Present.
Nancy Smith.
Present.
Okay, there are 7 present, 6 in the room. If we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, superintendent's report, we'll move right into instruction.
All right.
Good evening. How is everyone today?
Great.
Beautiful Monday outside, and it is actually August 25th, not September 8th. We're looking ahead to our academic priorities that we'll be sharing with you this evening. So we'll move beyond that slide. Dr. Gonzalez and I would like to share our academic priorities for this school year.
Buenas tardes. Good evening, board, superintendent, colleagues, and community. We were out in Vegas back in July at the Visible Learning Conference, and we wanted to share a quote with you that really resonated with us while we were out there. Every student deserves a great teacher, not by chance, but by design. A wise man once told me, when you have 100 priorities, you have no priorities. So we wanted to take a moment right now to really hone in on the academic priorities for this school year. It is a joint effort between the instructional programs team and the student services and diverse program team as well. The first one that we briefly want to give you an overview around tonight is teacher clarity. Think of teacher clarity as student clarity. So we want every student in every classroom to be clear on what they are learning for the day and how they will know that they are being successful. So when you hear us talk often about teacher clarity, that's really what's at the heart of this. So we're talking about standards, lesson objectives, success criteria, and task alignment. But probably the best way to think about this is, are students clear on what they're learning, why they're learning it, and how will students know when they have learned it? So it's clarity on behalf of the teacher, but it's clarity for the sake of the student to build their agency and their learning. What we're looking here when we're looking at the 0.85, basically what this says is that when we do teacher clarity well, there's the potential for students to grow 3 years. Did I say that correctly, Dr. Gilbert? So academic priorities, teacher clarity is the first one. The second one is literacy in every classroom daily. So repeated reading. So we're not asking every teacher to be a reading teacher, but there are opportunities, whether you're a PE teacher, a music teacher, an art teacher, a math teacher, a science teacher. Literacy is a part of everything that we do. So we are also emphasizing literacy across the content areas, making sure that our students from the youngest grades all the way up through high school have access to this opportunity. The third priority are classroom and student discussions. So looking again here at the effect size, when we do this well, it has the potential to increase student learning exponentially. So discussions are designed to refine student thinking. It encourages them to explain their reasoning, justify their answers, question their peers, and respond to counter arguments. This is also really critical for our multilingual learners. My amazing colleague, Dr. Gilbert, will now walk us through how are we supporting our staff in being able to execute on these priorities.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. I want to go back to this slide for just a moment. So you notice this barometer, and Dr. Gonzalez very well explained the 0.82. What we're looking for on this barometer, and this is based on John Hattie's research, 0.4 or greater is that ability to accelerate learning even more. So as we look at these academic priority areas, we've looked at the components that you're going to see on the left column and looking very specifically at what are those areas in alignment with the priorities and that effect of accelerating learning, academic excellence, what does that look like in action? So as we think about a guaranteed and viable curriculum, our teachers having the tools to be able to teach our students what our state has outlined, and we have gone even deeper with outlining more specifically. So as we think about that, that again is where teacher clarity comes in. It also is looking at that teacher credibility, which is 0.90, so that effect size will double that 0.4, so really accelerating that learning. We know that we are going to be putting this in action this year by strengthening our Tier 1, our core curriculum. We'll have our curriculum audit completed. We're actually scheduling our focus group conversations, which you all will be a part of at the end of September, classroom visits and such. So that is coming into that second phase now. We have an SEL curriculum implementation with our work of our consultant, Camille Dennis from Reminded. She's been working with our teens over the summer and is ready to launch that this school year. And then, as you know, we spent a few days in August with Capturing Kids' Hearts. So as we think about that guaranteed and viable curriculum, it's strengthening that Tier 1, what all students receive. Our next component is looking at data to inform discussion as we really think about collective teacher efficacy. So our teachers working and collaborating together, looking at making sure that we are on one accord, just like Dr. Gonzalez and I are sitting up here together presenting this in tandem. It is our professional learning communities. You've been so gracious to approve our partnership with Ms. Retta Hammond, with Teach Plus, looking at our PLCs in third grade at Edison and at the junior high to really focus in on our intensive school sites. Digging deeper into our WIDA and access scores for our multilingual language learners and ensuring that all 5 components of access are data points that we are exposing our students being able to read, write, speak, listen. Looking at those high-quality individualized education plans and 504 plans for students and making sure our teachers know the accommodations, modifications, goals, and objectives and success criteria for students with those IEPs and 504s. As we think about math coherence, we're going to be spending time looking at our 8 mathematical practices. You may recall at our last presentation, we looked at our professional development plan. This is a strand that is integrated in our Wednesday professional development plans, and our first one will be September 10th. We have our partnership with the Metro Chicago Math Initiative. That there, right there, is teacher clarity, that 0.85 that you just saw. As we think about literacy, you heard Dr. Gonzalez talk about the repeated reading, 0.75. Literacy across content areas, again, another strand within our Wednesday professional development opportunities for our staff, focusing on academic vocabulary, our sheltered instruction observation protocol, which is actually good for all teachers, but we're going to be embracing a cohort of both multilingual teachers, special education teachers, general education teachers to dig deeper into how do we, that didn't sound right, I should go back to our SIAP training, but those language objectives and ensuring that we're clear in multiple ways what our expectations are for our students, and our teaching for biliteracy. What does our dual language program look like? How do we support the language learners within our classroom settings? We're also implementing instruction around, so each building has been working on a problem of practice, an area of focus that aligns to their school improvement plan. They'll be visiting, there's 2 groups of buildings that are grouped together. They'll be visiting one another's buildings. Teachers will be invited into these instructional rounds. We'll be going through different classrooms, observing what's happening in the classrooms in alignment with the problem of practice, and then providing feedback and debriefing for action plans with our building administrators. Looking at that shared understanding of effective instruction, ensuring that is what our instructional rounds will allow us to do, and increasing that student-centered focus. That collective teacher efficacy, 0.15 is that. So that's really accelerating learning, pulling all these things together, our academic priorities. I can't wait to the end of the year to tell you how we have elevated excellence here in Kankakee. And finally, the last area that you'll see our academic priorities in action, you saw the student discussion of that 0.82, looking at literacy skills while teaching content knowledge. Dr. Gonzalez talked about it's not being a reading teacher, but the literacy skills that we have across all areas, within reading, within PE, within science, within driver's ed, et cetera. Ensuring that we have structured conversation using a format such as talk, read, talk, and write. Again, allowing students to process, think aloud, share, collaborate, and make their own meaning. Again, looking at that academic vocabulary and empowering students to explore topics to communicate their understanding. That is the focus of student discussion, and that as well will be a session in our Wednesday professional development opportunities. So hopefully this presentation has allowed you to see the balance of the priorities as a whole and what they will look like in action over the course of this school year. Are there any questions?
Any questions from any board member?
I don't have a question, but I do want to thank you for this because it's just clear. It helps understand where our vision is going. So thank you for this, and I'm excited to see, the work and the collaboration throughout the district with everyone and see how great we do at the end of the year. So thank you for all of that, and thank you to everyone who is going to be working hard in ensuring this is possible. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, Ms. Wade.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Lance, board members, staff, and community members. I wanted to take the opportunity tonight on our 4th day of student attendance to share with you some preliminary enrollment trends for this school year. This data is preliminary, and before I begin, I wanted to share with you where the information is coming from. Data for 23, 24, and prior is from our Illinois school report card. Data from last year is for the fall housing report, and our 25-26 is from Skyward on Friday. The reason I'm sharing this with you is that each of these sources are drawn from a different day. So the Illinois school report card and the fall housing report are from October 1st, and Skyward is from last Friday. Therefore, they may have different variables in them. Currently this year, we're continuing to enroll students, and we have 643 students who have not yet registered. Our schools are reaching out to get all of those students registered, and we know that some of those students will not be returning to our school district, but we are waiting request for records. We also have registration at LCC every day this week. This is what our overall trend looks like. You can see in 2018, we were at 4602, and then we had a downward trend until this year. Right now, we have 4,315 students enrolled, and this includes our unregistered students as well.
So this includes the 643?
It does.
Okay.
Correct. This graph here shows a comparison between last year and this year of our enrollment by grade level. You can see that we are up slightly in almost every grade level, and we are watching these very closely to ensure that we have the right number of staff assigned to the right number of students. I wanted to draw particular attention to the high school as we look at the enrollment since 2014. As we had discussed previously, we had a bubble of high enrollment at that grade level from 2022 to 2024, and that's beginning to decline now. So our high school enrollment went up until about 22, 23 to 2024, and then we're coming back down from that. So overall, our enrollment is increasing. Our high school enrollment is down as we predicted based on that cohort's trend, and I'll provide a further update at the September board meeting. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Wade. That's
Thank
good
you.
stuff.
Thank you.
Mr. Neal.
Dr. Gonzalez.
Oh, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello again. I'd like to start this evening's Student Services and Diverse Programs report with a note of gratitude. Once again, to our Directors of Health Services and Student Support Services, Nurse Lewis and Kim Starkey, and our nurse team. I was at the clinic last week, and it just warmed my heart to see how the nurse team took care of our parents and our students as they were coming in. I also have some very good news to share this evening, and I want to thank my colleague, Dr. Gilbert, due to her good work and her leadership before she passed the baton over to me. This is a lot of the fruit that her efforts are starting to bear. And also, I want to thank our parents for working with us and making sure that their students are healthy and ready to go on the first day of school. Tonight's report is brief. We will only be focusing on health services, our physical and vaccine update. And here are the latest numbers. For perspective, last year, September 6th, we had 2,238 students who needed to complete their health requirements. For a little bit more perspective, by September 30th, we were at 1,755 students. You can see where we were at the first day of school last week. We were at a total of 275 students who still needed to complete their health requirements. Where we are as of today, 230 students. So that is a drastic comparison to where we were last year in September. As a newcomer to the district, I can't imagine what the first day of school would have looked like had we just stood by the status quo and just stuck to the ISB October deadline. But instead, we expected more for our students, and we had more healthy, happy students in the seats on the first day of school. So I think that is certainly something to highlight and celebrate. Looking ahead, our September campaign, we are still pushing because we still have 230 students, so our work is not done. We will continue with direct calls from nurses, secretaries, administrators, so we will continue up with the follow-up. Our health clinics continue to be open for appointments. We will continue with our phone calls, our text messages, emails, home visits, and our continued social media presence. Are there any questions?
Just a quick one. The 230, is that included in the 643 that aren't enrolled yet? Is that part of that number as well?
I would think so.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. We look forward to it being 2 at the next report, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job, Health Services. Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Tony.
Okay. Mr. Sykes?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, sir.
My mother actually told me a long time ago that I belonged on a stage, but I didn't expect it to be like this.
You finally made it.
I did, and then I will also acknowledge that I am well aware of the big shoes that I have to fill, and I will do my best to make this so enjoyable.
You have to throw in humor, too, though.
I'm not very funny. There's nothing funny about money, right?
Appreciate that.
So I did talk with Dr. Lance earlier today. As the year progresses, the nature of this conversation is going to get even better because basically we're just taking a look at the month of July. And here we have the revenues and expenditures for the month. So for the month, we had 11.4 million in revenues compared to expenses of 3.95. And I want to point out, the salaries and benefits typically make up the biggest part of the budget. As far as the revenues go, we can see that we received $9 million in property taxes, real estate taxes, and 1.9 from federal sources. At the bottom, there's a notation that says that the fund balance of all funds is $33 million, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So I did just reference the total fund balance. We began the year as... I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay, it happens all the time. We began the year with 26.1 million in fund balance. Again, we had the revenues, subtract the expenditures. That's how we came to the 33 million. Now, if we take a look at the actual year-to-date versus the budget, as boring as it is for some people, people like me get excited over this. We can actually take a glance and see how it compares to where we're at over the course of the year. So I've referenced the $9 million in real estate taxes. We have 22.6 budgeted. That's 39.83% that we've received so far. I also want to point out, I referenced the federal sources where we have 12.1 million budgeted and we only received 1.8. And if you notice, we haven't received any evidence-based funding as of yet. The same thing is applicable for expenses paid. Again, the budget for salaries and benefits is the biggest part of the expenses, and we've only 4.6 and 3.4 respectively. So it's a great way to look at year-to-date. This particular slide is a monthly fund balance comparison, and we can take a look at where we were last year compared to this year. I just want to notate that as far as revenues last year, slightly elevated compared to this year at 18.4 million. However, we did spend 1.1 million less this July.
Say that again.
We sure did. We spent 1.1 million less this July.
Thank you, sir.
And hopefully we can continue doing just that same thing. Again, as the year progresses, this particular cash flow report will be more useful as we can compare the years, the past two previous years. So if you take a look at the revenues last year, we're down, but we pretty much match FY24. And the same thing is applicable in expenditures, except we even went less expenditures for FY24 in July. This is last page here, the summary, shows how we recorded the different revenues in each of the various different funds. Again, at the bottom, beginning with 26.1 million, 11.4 in revenues, expenses of 3.9. That's where we come up with a 33.6. Good trend so far. Any questions?
How do we keep this going?
Keep up the same good work that we've been doing.
That's good, Mr. Sykes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Your
Stay within
mother
the
was
means.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. We'll let Mr. Neal know you did a phenomenal job. Okay. People services.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mr. Board President, board members, Dr. Lance, our illustrative superintendent, community, and colleagues. Good evening to you all. This evening, we will take a quick peek at the superintendent's people services goals for 24-25, share the goals, And then we will see what's on the horizon for 25-26 regarding the superintendent's goal. And then we're going to look at recruitment and retention efforts, new teachers evaluation system. Then I believe someone would love to see exit survey data. We're going to share that with you this evening. And then the vacancies. So some of our goals: we completed employee handbooks for all 7 unions, aggressively recruitment plan, and it has yielded nothing but great fruit. We have 100% of our teachers who are currently in front of students are certified or in a program to be certified, 100%. So we want to say thank you to the recruitment team. Administrators, employee investigation documentation training. We got that started over the summer to ensure that our principals know what they're doing in the investigations of employees, and to ensure that we are legally sound in our processes. Administrators' contract, as you know, all administrators received contracts this year, and we will do that perpetually. All teachers receive contracts annually. Administrators, teachers, certification audit. We are combing the certification of all administrators and teachers. And then also we addressed many of the recommendations of the people service audit that you guys received back in October. What's on the horizon? We're going to create and post each job description in the district. Every job description in the district will be posted. Teachers evaluation framework, we're already on the move with that. Administrators' guides and teachers' guide have both been created and shared with our administrators for the first time in some time. Administrators Leadership Academy, that's Grow Your Own. We're going to educate, develop our very own administrators and those who aspire to be administrators. Create position control. That is crucial that we create position control. Why? Because we're aligning people with budgeting. Digitized, I'm sorry about that misspelling there, employee records, ongoing professional development for all employees, and ongoing recruitment and retention of skilled and cooperative employees. It is imperative. Now we'll hear from our coordinator of recruitment and retention.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Henderson. In October of 2024, Dr. Lance charged me with developing a recruitment and retention plan. The committee, 11 dedicated teachers, staff, community members, administrators heeded the call and took up the charge to create a roadmap to not only recruit, but retain high-quality teachers and staff for our district. As you can see here, the committee articulated 4 goals in alignment with the board policy: recruitment of diverse qualified candidates, the retention of high-quality educators and staff, building and maintaining a robust talent pool, community engagement in the recruitment and retention process. I wish to publicly acknowledge the hard work of our team. Some of them are present this evening, as we met bi-monthly from October to February, developing a strategic and actionable plan for recruitment and retention. And they are as follows: Bill Draper, Kenise Fines, Mackenzie Cloy, Maritza Avalos, Erica Duarte, Joya Crossley, Ira Schaefer, Lanye Rutherford, Melissa Guzman, and Jess Friedrichs, and Crystal Rose Louie. Thank you so much, team, for your hard work.
Thank you.
In alignment alignment with Goal 1 and 3 of our recruitment and retention plan, we will continue with creating a recruitment schedule for job fairs. We will continue also with continuing our partnership with HBCUs and HSIs. We will continue to engage our candidates using multiple job boards and job placement apps like LinkedIn, Top School Jobs, K-12 JobSpot, and ISA Job Bank. We will implement, with the partnership of Ms. Rebecca Parks, a robust marketing and advertising plan. And then we will enhance, as Dr. Henderson shared, our Grow Your Own program with the support of our tuition reimbursement program. All right. According to the Human Capital Institute 2019, most onboarding programs focus on paperwork and processes instead of people, performance, and culture. An article entitled "Don't Underestimate the Importance of Good Onboarding 2017" states that employees who participate in a structured onboarding program are 58% more likely to be with the organization after 3 years. So in alignment with goals 2 and 4 of our recruitment and retention plan, this is the rationale behind our meaningful onboarding and orientation. So we have, we did a meaningful onboarding orientation program this year, and now we're going to transition to everboarding. Everboarding is a process or a philosophy that involves gaining a deeper understanding of our teachers' wants and needs. Essentially, we want to ascertain what they think, what they hear, what they feel, what they see, so that we can better address their needs and their wants. So how will we gain this information? Through the following: our ongoing mentorship program that lasts 2 years, differentiated professional development, launching our affinity groups in partnership with the Illinois Affinity Group Network, frequent classroom visits and to check and connect on our teachers, strategic support of our new teachers that will help to support their differentiated needs. I am excited to announce our new teacher evaluation system, which will ensure the fidelity of implementation in alignment with our PARA Act. This was a collaborative effort of the PARA Joint Committee, where we moved all of our tenured teachers from a 2-year cycle to a 3-year cycle for their evaluations. We also transitioned to the newest version of Charlotte Danielson's 2022 framework. We're also transitioning from paper-based evaluations to it being electronic using Frontline's employee evaluation management system, which is set to go live October 1st.
Where's the survey? All right, you do not see it on the screen. However, the exit survey update. So of approximately 60 employees who exit the district for a myriad of reasons, 43 completed the exit survey. The positive responses were work environment, employee satisfaction, and employment experience. Those were the positives from those 43 responders. The areas or opportunities of growth: resource allocation and grievance procedures. Those were the only two areas that were opportunities for growth. Okay? Let me repeat that again. Those who completed this survey said their concerns or opportunities for growth were resource allocations and grievance procedures. All right? And lastly, as you can see, we have 7 vacancies. 3 that are teachers, chemistry, physics, and Spanish at the high school, At King, a fourth grade. At the junior high, CIPS, which is Crisis Intervention Program System, and the older educators would say ISS, in-school suspension. And then they're at Avis Huff, high school science. Those are our vacancies. Do you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Could you go back, and I'm asking a question I really don't know the answer to. You referred, and I heard referred during various meetings, the Charlotte Danielson framework. This is an evaluation process, am I correct?
That is correct.
And this has been used in the district before, and then we stopped using this framework, is that true?
That's correct.
And we're going back to it because,
It's the state model. So the
Okay.
state model uses the Charlotte Danielson framework.
I got it.
And also because the para-joint committee
Yes.
agreed.
Yes, yes.
And who comprises the para-joint committee?
It's a combination of members from the teachers' union and district representation.
And we're actually having joint committee meetings
Yes, sir.
of the para committee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's required by state law anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just checking the boxes.
We following the law.
Just checking the boxes, that's all. And then using that Danielson framework, we went to the frontline employee evaluation management system. That means that using the framework, we will have digitized evaluations that the teachers can look at
Yes.
on their own.
Yes, sir. So the evaluation will be conducted using the frontline employee evaluation management system so that they'll be able to see real time or shortly after their coded feedback and be able to acknowledge said feedback, and it keeps everything transparent for the teacher and the administrator.
It also allows us to see themes and patterns across our district. So if
Exactly.
we notice strengths, we'll be able to illuminate those through this platform as opposed to going through paper.
Exactly.
Okay. And the teachers now are all aware of this framework? Is that true, or is that an aspiration?
Yes. Yes.
But before we start evaluating them, they will at least know what the framework is.
Absolutely. So training for that will take place towards the end of September. Yes.
Okay. This is good stuff. Thank you.
You're so very welcome.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but I had a comment. I just wanted to thank you all for your retention efforts, because it's important to get people here, but it's even more important to make sure they stay.
Absolutely.
So that's always been important to me. So it's good to see that you all have something in place to listen to the teachers and listen to the staff to see what they need for them to stay, because we don't want people to leave.
Absolutely. Neither do we.
And 43 exit interviews, from my standpoint, that's a huge change. And I'm confused, I'm not confused. Yeah, I am confused on the opportunities. I think that's an interesting 2 items, but we can talk about that later.
It's an opportunity for growth for us.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there are negotiations, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can I also just add, for the retention efforts, they don't just lie in People Services Department. It's really all of us.
Yeah.
Our school-level
right.
administrators, members of the executive leadership team, constantly being in buildings and being accessible. Like Crystal, I texted Crystal a question, turn around, and she's right there in the building with me. So being responsive to our teacher and our staff needs is also critical, but that requires all of us to be very present for our teachers.
And I also wanted to thank you for the exit interview information, because I know sometimes it's a sore spot, because we don't want to hear what somebody might say we can improve on, but that's how we help better understand what we can do to keep people, for people to stay.
Absolutely.
So although it's sometimes we not want to hear, but it's something we need to do. So if people are saying it's what we need to work on, we hear them. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for that.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you very much. We move on to public comment, and Robert Ellington Snites has signed up to
It's been a while.
It has been, but we welcome him back.
Don't say that too wholeheartedly. Now that I'm looking at our technology down here, as we're getting older, we do need light, but nevertheless, we will make an exception here, and I'll use some of my battery power. As Elizabeth Taylor told her ninth husband, I won't keep you long. Good evening, board members.
You gotta get new material.
And the Superintendent Teresa Lance, a former pastor of mine named Rollo Cobbs Jr. once said, it's a poor duck that don't praise its own pond. That holds true today. After Dr. Lance's first year, her vision for District 111 has met with great strides in spite of numerous obstacles and challenges. Acquiring and keeping good people is a leader's most important task. The caveat or Achilles heel to succeed in this endeavor is that she can't do it alone. She had to establish a team from the bottom up and from the top down. By establishing a team to get her vision seen, implemented, and contributed to by others, in essence, whether you're a janitor or a principal, a secretary or assistant superintendent, a paraprofessional or a teacher, Dr. Lance visioned you all as leaders and made you all a part of her team. Dr. Lance understood that our district growth potential was directly related to our personnel potential. Dr. Lance realized that our district cannot grow without until its leaders grow within. She gave hope to your value and gave it value. Each of you were given a measure of hope, and collectively you unknowingly became Kankakee hope builders for our district, our staff, our students, our parents, and our community. Let me quote a famous person, Robert S. Ellington Snipes. Hope is inspirational. Hope is inspiration, perspiration, and unseen potential expectation. Dr. Lance's vision was not to draw, a following. Her goal is to develop leaders who become a movement. Ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Henderson would say, this was done within 1 year of her tenure. I end with these words of encouragement. The only bird that dares to attack an eagle is a crow, but the eagle never fights back. Here's why. The crow is the only bird bold enough to sit on the eagle's back and peck at his neck. Relentless, annoying, but the eagle stay calm. The eagle doesn't flap, doesn't fight, doesn't waste energy. It does one thing. It rises. The higher the eagle soars, the thinner the air becomes. The crow can't handle the altitude. Eventually, the crow gasps, loses strength, and falls off, not because the eagle attacks it, but because the eagle ascended.
My God.
Let the the crows talk. Let them peck on Facebook. You don't have to respond, just keep ascending higher and higher. Remember, your haters are your motivators. They can't follow you forever. Your growth will suffocate their noises. So don't engage, elevate. Don't engage, elevate. Don't engage, elevate. And then lastly, in the words of our old people, keep on keeping on. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we go to the consent agenda, I have a couple of things I'd like to comment on. I had the pleasure and experience of sitting in on some of the sessions for student engagement, the first day and then the 2 days of capturing kids' hearts. Because I was curious in part, and secondly, I was just seeing if it was having any effect. Let me start by saying I went to capturing kids' hearts between the hours of 1:30 and 3. Hard time to keep people awake when you're sitting in a professional development. I've gone to dozing during continuing legal education. I can guarantee you in the ones I sat in the class or the sessions I sat in on, there was total engagement by our teaching staff or by our staff that was present. They were on the edge of their seats in some cases. Some cases they were begging to have the chance to have input because others were having input. And the sessions were being led by incredibly competent people. So I compliment you, Dr. Lance, for bringing that to us and to our staff, because I think if, as we lead off this year, those kinds of things make a difference. The second thing I'd like to mention is the convocation. If you were here and not moved, then your mind was wandering to other things, because if you listened, it was a very moving event. As high of energy as one could have, and I appreciate Ms. Starkey, Ms. Lethbridge, and Dr. Gilbert for their efforts in making it even higher energy. But it was a wonderful event and a great way to start off our school year. And I appreciate all the work that went in, and I appreciate your comments, including the blunt and honest comments about finance and student achievement. And all of this is here, I'm saying all of this because I believe this is the year that we will start to see effects on student achievement. Last year there were too many side issues that diverted our attention. But I see a staff, or I sense a staff, and I hear from staff that they're raring to go. And if they're raring to go, I'll guarantee our kids are raring to go, and the two will match. So my purpose in saying this is just to say thank you. I can't wait to see how it all works, because we're all here for the kids, and all seven of us, I think, can watch as we see the material being presented and the changes being made. But thank you to all of you who had anything to do with those sessions. I think you had over 300 at all three days, I was told. Maybe I'm wrong, but.
Not 300, but we'll take it.
All right, 296.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, those were staff people that were not required to be there, but volunteered to be there, and that's a big statement.
Thank you.
So anyway, I'll move on. Consent agenda, are there any items on the consent agenda that anybody would like to have moved from the consent agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, which consists of approval of board minutes, approval of regular bills, approval of resignation of administrative personnel, approval of extra duty assignments, approval of resignations and retirements of licensed personnel, approval of appointment of licensed personnel, approval of appointment and extra duty assignments, approval of internal appointments, and approval of leave of absence recommendations, and approval of appointments of support personnel. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with attachments?
So moved at this time.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Barotas. Any discussion, any debate, or any questions on any of the items or the attachments? Any discussion, debate, or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Baronis.
Yes.
Gathing.
Yes.
Lopez.
Yes.
Verret.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Yancy Smith.
Yes.
Bolin.
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, the motion carries. We have just added to the Kankakee School District 111 team, the following people. Marisa Avalos, a special ed, is assigned to special ed. Tony Jordan, 6th grade math teacher at King. Cindy Santoyo, a PFA teacher at Pregler. Deborah Case, a registered nurse, and I'm going to stop here. We were just talking, all of us know Deborah Case. She worked for 43 years at St. Mary's, and if you were around St. Mary's, you knew Deborah Case. But we're delighted that she is going to be a nurse in our clinic at the high school. Nancy Gomez, paraprofessional. Maria Gonzalez Garcia, child care worker. Sierra Hazlitt is going to be a behavioral consultant. Laura Incheros is a child care worker. Yanceri Jacobo is a Head Start professional. Dorothy Jones is a cafeteria helper. Fernando Lopez is a Head Start professional. Maria Mendez is a Head Start professional. Amy Nealis is a special ed paraprofessional. Esteban Ochos is a Head Start paraprofessional. Savina Ramirez is a special ed paraprofessional. Holly Raquel is a one-on-one nurse. Carla Salgado is a special ed professional. Adeline Schnell is a special ed paraprofessional. Shirley Veal is a special education paraprofessional. And Kaylee Wilson is being employed as a registered nurse in the high school, junior high clinics. We have internal appointments. Cheryl Arrozo is a special ed teacher. Erica Karstens is a special ed teacher. Eric Choi, is a special ed teacher. Kelly Costanza has become a certified librarian. Cynthia Jones is a special ed teacher. Ashaya King is a special ed teacher. Kyla Smith is a first grade teacher. Salamu Yahara is an English teacher at the high school. Courtney Cotter is a special ed paraprofessional. Janet Gaitan is a child care worker. Karen Harris is a special ed paraprofessional. Joyce Majors is a special ed paraprofessional. Nicole Porter is a special ed paraprofessional, and Heather Sherrill is a nurse. So congratulations to all of those folks. They are coming into an incredibly good team, and they are going to make it even better. So congratulations. There are no other action items on the agenda tonight. The only calendar notes are no school on Labor Day. The early release Wednesday is September 3rd or 10th?
3rd
Third,
and 10th.
okay. And our
Both.
next,
It's both 3rd and 10th.
okay. And our next board meeting is September the 8th. Thank you for being here, those of you who are here, and I need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Bowles, can I say something?
What's that? I'm sorry, hold on.
I just wanted to welcome all of our new staff this year. Welcome back to all of our returning staff. And I just wanted to thank you all for always staying. I know when you stay for the board meetings, it makes for a long day for you all, but I appreciate seeing you all here, those of you who stay. And also, it is my prayer that you all have a fruitful school year, and we're going to do our best to make decisions that will help you do that rather than impair you to do that. So thank you all so much for all. You all have the hard work, so thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we had a motion to adjourn from Mr. Gaving, or from Mr. Williams. No, Gaving made the motion. Mr. Williams seconded the motion quickly. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.